Well, good morning. I'm Becky, and today we're going to talk about how to do Disney for free. I am living in my van right now, my minivan, and I just rolled up to this Winn-Dixie right near Disney property to pick up my food that I'm going to bring in, and let's get into this. This is where I'm cooking in the back of a bunch of chain restaurants that aren't open yet. Well, Chili's is open. I didn't go over there. Don't get it twisted. When I say doing Disney for free, I don't mean the VIP experience. I don't even mean going into the parks. I mean finding the only free parking, using free transportation to get to the free parts of Disney, which is the resorts. Skulk away, little scavenger, skulk away. Of course, I don't mean that you can stay in the resort for free. No, but I am saying you can hang around the public areas for free. And there are a lot of them. Most of the Disney property is resorts. And they are attached by buses, boats, and monorail. Now, one word of advice: don't go around making trouble for other guests. If you are going to hang around Disney property for free, the minimum thing you need to do is not disturb other guests. Disney customer service is like number one in the world. They basically invented customer service, and I mean that literally. You can look it up. And a major part of a customer service philosophy is don't bother anybody. And I don't mean you don't bother anybody. I mean the workers don't want to bother anybody. They don't want to disturb your Disney experience. The only reason they'll disturb your Disney experience, even if you're probably a freeloader, is if you're bothering other guests. So do not bother other guests. You can get crazy, you can get wild, you can have a great time, you can act a fool. It doesn't matter as long as you're not bothering other guests. Take it from me, I was born and raised in Orlando. I was brought up 1.5 miles away from Disney property. And all during high school, what my friends were doing, we were robo-tripping at Disney. We've packed a picnic and had breakfast. It's time to head to the property. It's about 9:18 a.m. And I'll take you to the only place you can park for free at Disney, which is called Disney Springs. But Disney Springs used to be called Downtown Disney and Pleasure Island when I lived here. But they combined the two, updated everything, turned it into a giant mall, but Disney-fied, and they renamed it Disney Springs. And I went there last night, and it was pretty bomb. I'm remembering it now. Oh my gosh. Well, I definitely used the resort bathroom to change into my PJs and do my nightly routine. And it feels really funny walking around all these people in my PJs, but they don't know it. Oh, wow. It feels like it was just yesterday. So I'm heading back there this morning. We're going to park there, and there are boats and buses that can take you to different resorts. Of course, if you're not driving, You don't have to park at Disney Springs. You can just get a drop off at one of the resorts. Maybe you could start at like the Polynesian. She is. So unlike most people who go to Disney, I'm not that into it. That's not to say I don't enjoy myself, but I'm not a fan. If I were a fan, I'd be probably paying for tickets, or let's be real, I'd be asking my friend's mom, who still works there, to get me in today. But I think it's really fun to freeload at Disney. It reminds me of my childhood. And if you're a freeloader too, join me. Okay, I'm in the nice covered Disney Springs parking garage, Lime, level 2, row 3. Pay attention to your parking spot. And I just want to make things perfectly clear. Today is going to be a day of walking and exploration. If that doesn't sound good to you, then you can switch off this video, but that is the kind of free day we're about to have. Packing list. Packing shoes that are also waterproof if you want to freeload in a pool. Thing. Hat. Mandatory sunglasses. Chapstick and sunscreen if that's your thing. Mysterious gummy. Water bottle. Duh. Spare underwear. Always. Towel / cover up. You have reached a private bus depot. Lots of employees commuting right now. I just had my first employee interaction of the day. Brian. Hey Brian. He was helping me get around the bus depot. And man, let me tell you, when you're walking around Disney property, even if you're a freeloader, get used to being treated like royalty, and not just if you're white. I mean, I'm sure racism exists at Disney, but this is one of the places where I'm like, no, you're gonna get great customer service no matter who you are. Say what you will about Orlando, Florida, it is one of the most internationally, ethnically, socioeconomically diverse places in the country. And maybe the world. And it's just the sheer influx of people coming to visit Disney all the time. Well, I don't think the visitors are particularly socioeconomically diverse. Remember when I said most of the property is resorts? Yeah. And you can get to all of these places for free. Of course you can. Fun fact, the buses are free and they take time. Be ready to listen to a podcast or enjoy your company's company. Have you ever seen a bus this clean? When I said freeloading at Disney, you knew you'd end up riding on a bus. I'm at the Fort Wilderness Lodge, which is great. It's my favorite. It's very wildernessy. Welcome to the Contemporary, otherwise known as Disney's modernist resort. Miss Vander Disney.
Monorail station.
You can stand at the entrance. Well, I am tired. I have spent the day on, buses, trains, and boats, and I could use a little bit of Polynesian hospitality. Now, amenities like this hammock are intended for guests of the hotel and resorts, or at the very least, guests of Disney. So make sure not to hog anything like this. I enjoyed some rest and relaxation at the Polynesian, and I'm gonna go spend the evening at the Grand Floridian, this big sucker here. Apparently they have an orchestra that plays in the evenings, and you can watch the fireworks on their waterfront at night. Next stop, Grand Floridian. I can't tell you how many kind people I've met on this trip, willing to engage and talk. I'll tell you something, I may not be a Disney diehard, but this place is really magical for a lot of people, and I get it. There are plenty of occasions where I feel the magic too. I can't believe I just said that. I'm surprised by how touched I am by the fireworks. Makes me reflect on how my parents, when my sibling and I were little kids, got us all annual passes, and I remember watching the fireworks more than once. And just makes me think about that story as an example of my parents doing their best with us. Which makes me feel nice things. Anyway, I'm gonna hop on the bus back to Disney Springs, get in my car, and run off to Lakeland, about an hour away, because I have a 10:30 a.m. tour with the Frank Lloyd Wright Visitor Center. Florida Southern Campus there has the largest collection of Frank Lloyd Wright buildings in one place in the world. If you'd like to see that video or more from me, hit subscribe, the red button below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the thumbs up too. Thanks everybody. It's time for me to go home. Dang, Disney bathrooms are luxe.